So, my bad. As when I signed off of this to run Among Us, when I switched it back, it didn't take that information back for some reason. It decided to default to something else. Anyway, so now it should be all functioning hunky-dory across all of our channels, which is perfect. I find that weird because James did it before and he was fine, and then Joyce streamed and she was fine.
No, it wasn't.
It was not?
No, it was not.
Okay, well, too bad for Joyce, isn't it? Too bad for Joyce. She gets to have one problem, one missing episode in her
on my YouTube
PS5,
archive.
yeah, Royal.
No.
I mean, could be worse. She could be dead.
I don't know. I don't think I'm... Hello again.
So hello again, everybody. Fei Bang Tang, hello. All right, so where we left off last is where did we leave off last?
The investigation of the murder of the nine-tailed fox, or rather the...
Nine Schwanz Fox?
Yes, Nine Schwanz Fox.
The Nine Schwanz Box?
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Paul. Hello. We're gonna get right into it with so we've discovered some interesting things. For example, the true identity of the nine-tailed fox wrestler is actually the mayor of the Fox Village named Rex QB.
Yeah, who is in fact the mayor.
Jacques.
Yes.
And then we found this mysterious man who is kind of like a cross between the Joker and something else.
Oh God, yeah.
I'm sure we'll find out who they are in this, and of course we're going to find out who is our first, the new prosecutor for this game.
Oh yes, introducing Prosecutor Brendan.
We call it Prosecutor Brendan because Brendan was cosplayed him
as Black Quill.
As Black Quill.
Pax.
That was my when Dual Destinies came out.
Yeah, that was my first introduction to Black Quill was Brendan's cosplay at PAX.
The bird.
So, I will forever call him Prosecutor Brendan.
And for those of you who are in the game,
I've never seen him in the game before. I was gonna say real life, but.
For those of you who are new to this particular day, we're going to do some bad voice dubs.
Ooh,
so,
you're watching while
get some suggestions ready.
Nice.
I still have the bird.
Nice.
You okay, Athena? You've been really antsy since we've got here.
I'm just excited. This is my first real court case after all.
Yeah, a real ball of excitement she is. I know just what she needs. Athena!
Ah! Didn't you ever learn about indoor and outdoor voices?
The Oberschwanz.
The
Wer ready for the Oberschwanz? I'm just trying to show you that the best way to relieve your pre-trial jitters. Oberschwanz.
By scaring the daylights out of me?
No, I find that shouting, "I'm fine!" in a loud voice really relieves stress. It's part of my Cords of Steel voice workout. And a must before every trial.
You want me to shout? Here?
That's right. Here. I'll go first. Then you try. I am Apollo Justice and I am fine!
Alright. I'm Athena Sykes. And I'm fine! Huh. I think that actually worked.
I thought it might help. It always worked for me. An old friend of mine from junior high and I say it all the time.
I see. A proven remedy to calm the soul. I like it. Hey, how about we finish off with a race around the courthouse?
The point is to relieve stress, not to get totally exhausted. What's with all the racket, you two? Oh, Mr. Wright. Just a little voice workout. Hey, what's with the suit? Oh, this? I was thinking about getting my attorney's badge back. That's all. Oh, he doesn't even have. You can see the little pinprick hole where his attorney's badge used to be.
I don't know if the resolution is good enough on that the actual stream itself, but the little pinprick hole. I know he's so dapper.
He's got like a nice little chain.
Like before, it was a two-piece suit. It was probably like.
No, he was buttoned up.
No, it was probably a two-piece suit. There wasn't a vest. Definitely not a vest. And it was like probably the cheapest thing he could find at like a not quite thrift store. But look at him now. 3-piece suit, little chain with like Trucy's picture on it. Hair slicked back. That
single Windsor, of course, still. So he's still a simple man. The single Windsor.
Look at him. He is so good.
have a feeling I'll be needed in the courtroom again sometime soon. Oh, is that like how they're hinting towards there's gonna be a new Apollo Justice? There's gonna be a new Ace Attorney with Phoenix, right? We can talk about that another time. Not fair. Inquiring minds want to know. It's true. But wow. So used to him in his usual laid-back clothes. Oh, that's a flashback. That suit makes him look like $1 million.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, have you heard about the prosecutor assigned to this case? Yeah, he's serving time, but before that, he was a prosecutor. He also uses psychology? That's right. That's right. I've heard the rumors. I've heard the rumors about how he was back before his conviction. Using the power of suggestion, he could make even the most stalwart defendants confess.
Hello there, Air Force Guy 1. Where's Colston? Colston is... I don't know what he's doing.
I don't know. He's in my
But today is Saturday, so that makes it a Rashi and Joyce day. It's mostly a Rashi day, and I'm just here to tag along.
Yeah.
Welcome into our Phoenix Wright Bad Voice Dub stream.
Psychology in the courtroom. Been hearing a lot about that lately. So he must be a pretty scary guy considering he's a prison inmate and all. So they say, but they also say he'll cut you down if you talk too much. I knew he was gonna be bad news.
We gotta beat the Fatalis, bro.
Yeah, I beat it today. It was
Nice.
tough.
Nice.
It's way better with just 2 players, trust me. Probably just hyperbole. At least I hope for your sake. Wait, so it's true or not? Let's just say you should be concise and choose your words carefully. If you'd like to keep that head of yours attached with the rest of your body, that is. Yikes! Better tone down my cords of steel too. So, are you all ready? It might be a good idea to check the court record again before stepping in the ring. Right, Mr. Wright, but I'm fine. Actually, let's see. Let's review the court record, shall we? Lucy Wright. Jinxie Tenma, our client. The Amazing Ninetales, who also happens to be the Rex QB, the Ninetales Veil Reveal. Actually, no. Our client is Damien Tenma. Jinxie Tenma is his daughter. Phineas Filch, the caretaker at QB Manor. Bobby Fulbright, our replacement for Gumshoe. But,
no one can really
but
replace.
no real. He's a weak ass replacement for Gumshoe. I'm gonna finish the mouth animations because I saved for last because I'm lazy. Oh, mouth flaps, they're so great. Arms. I think we're pretty good.
I think we're pretty good.
I'll be watching from the gallery. Good luck. Thanks.
Okay, let's do this.
Odds of pulling this off are ridiculously low, but that's nothing new. I believe in our client. Seek the truth. Seek the truth. And that's all we can do. Hang in there, Mayor Taylor. Here comes justice. Oh, fucking his catchphrase.
Here comes justice.
Just ice.
He's adorable. I love Apollo. I love Apollo so much.
At first I was like, oh, it's Apollo. But now I'm like, it's Apollo.
Like, Apollo really grew on me.
Ooh, it's the first real trial, I think. Court is now in session. All rise. They even add that too. Oh my lord.
I think the rabble is still gonna be
A little bit weird, yeah. What's this on? Yeah, it's a 3DS. Yeah, unfortunately the computer isn't so great at interpolating the DS, the three-dimensional
3DS
space. Yeah.
emulation is a little bit janky.
Court is now in session for the trial of Damien Tin. Apollo Justice, defense team leader, is ready, Your Honor. I know that big booming voice from anywhere. As chipper as ever, Mr. Justice. Who was the young lady next to you?
I'm Athena Sykes, Mr. Justice's junior partner and fresh out of law school.
Well now, full of beans too, eh? Excellent. That makes an old man feel young again. Now for the prosecution. Ooh. It appears the prosecution is not yet ready. Oh. Never fear, for I shall explain. It It's just a minor procedural complication, Your Honor. The prosecution for this case is being escorted from prison as we speak. Prison? Oh yes, of course. I almost forgot that he is currently serving time.
Oh boy, here comes that introduction.
Oh damn, look at that swagger. So apparently he's actually more Japanese.
Prosecutor Blackwell's an inmate.
I don't know, he's a
samurai.
Samurai.
Court samurai. I should have remembered because he's got his family crest attached to his akama?
I don't know, man.
His kauri? I can't remember what it's called.
I don't know, man.
But even a convicted murderer still got a job to do and duties to perform.
Family crest. He's just a weeb.
What a weeb! Nerd in the background. Nerd. Sorry, I forgot that. I'm so absorbed by him.
That's him. I'm sure of it. Prosecutor Blackwell.
Him. Is the prosecution ready? All right, what voice should I do for Blackwell, guys? Enough jibber-jabber. Get on with it already. British? Yeah, I'll go weird British. Okay, I'll try my best. Of course, forgive me. Oh, why are all the people related to this case so scary? I love the fact that he's an eagle and Apollo looks like he's just a pigeon. Oh, what's the matter?
Like, Blackwell's just gonna go swooping. Ah! Pick up Apollo.
Must we continue to fritter away time like this? It's all right there. It's all right there in the indictment. Opening statement should be pointless. Pointless? Oh, well. Looks like the cat, or in this case, the prosecutor, has the judge's tongue. But, we need an opening statement as an overview for the case at hand.
I mean, to be fair, it does have a lot of anime cutscenes, and now it has an actual proper anime for the first 3 games. Which, worth watching!
Your boldness. It's so very important. Why don't you do the honors? Who, me? There's a term for people who whine and fuss about those how they need silly, useless things. And they decide they no longer want them. Once it's theirs, a selfish hold. Huh?
Wait, was that the prosecution's opening statement?
Old daughters such as yourself are a plague upon the young. I pity your poor grandchildren. Or is it great-grandchildren? All these years I thought the opening statement was the prosecutor's job. But I suppose I could give it a try. Might be a nice change of pace. What? He actually fell for that?
That must have been the power of suggestion Mr. Wright was talking about.
Ahem. The opening statement, huh? Let's see here. The victim was one Rex Q, alderman of the Nine-Tails Vale. The defendant, Damien Tenma, mayor of Tenma Town, is accused of his murder. And why, pray tell, was the mayor arrested? His prints were on the murder weapon. Plus, he had the motive, the elimination of the biggest roadblock to the municipal merger. The caretaker and the secretary of the other potential suspects both have alibis. And his daughter, who was also in the vicinity at the time of the incident, has no motive. So in a nutshell, I'd have to say the charges against the defendant are quite incontrovertible. Bravo, your boldness. Your years of experience shine bright like a head. Ho! Flattery will get you everywhere.
He's playing Simon Says with the judge.
Moving right along now, let's hear from our first witness for today, Detective Fulbright. Witness, please state your name and occupation. I am detective assigned to this case, Bobby Fulbright. Oh, and I'll also be keeping tabs on old Blackwell here. I also heard you would provide protection if it ever came to that. It would seem that I have been sorely underestimated. Wait, who's protecting who from what? Still, I truly believe anyone can turn their life around, even Mr. Fulbright. Save your platitudes for funerals. Get on with your statement. Ha ha ha! That's the spirit. Justice must be swift and true. I see it in your eyes. There is hope for your rehabilitation and return to society. I will never give up on you.
Investigator Blackwell doesn't seem to intimidate Detective Fulbright.
Well, you know what they say, ignorance is bliss.
Oh, so that's why Detective Fulbright was assigned to Blackwell. He's so oblivious.
He doesn't understand threats. Now, let's have your first statement, Detective Fulbright. You got it, but first I'd like to say to the defense that justice will ultimately prevail.
Oh no.
Oh god. Oh god. This guy hurts my brain.
I hate him, but I'm starting to like him too.
Alderman Cuby was murdered with a
He's so
spear
dumb.
that had been on the wall. The fingerprints of the defendant, Damien Timmer, were found on the murder weapon. At the time, Alderman Cuby was asleep from a drug he unwittingly ingested.
Have you noticed his
Mayor
badge?
Tenma attacked his help.
I have not. Hello. Well, thank you for subbing again, Metababy.
Yes, thank you for your resub. I don't know why it
What?
doesn't give me a special one, but we'll see. We'll figure that later.
I
Fulbright
don't know,
reminds me
when
of
I-
All Might for some reason. Yeah,
A little bit.
he's got
When
that big
when
passionate.
when I did the test subscriptions, it worked.
It's the same pin on Meekin's hat. Yeah, it is. That's the police officer badges. The police badges are like it's like this.
Hold
right?
on. That was a subscription, right? I'm gonna
Yes,
do
it
a
was a
test.
subscription.
I'm gonna do a test subscription.
Yeah.
See?
No, because she subscribed for X many times. It switches to a certain tier every single time. So that's the problem.
Oh, okay.
Dance
so
pins, yeah, everything. Yeah, so that's the actual in Ace Attorney, that's the police officer pins. The officer badges. Mayor Tenma attacked this helpless victim, impaling him like a human shish kebab. Shish kaboom.
Shish kaboom.
But the sudden pain jolted the victim awake, and he grabbed a statue and struck back.
It's on all police except for Gumshoe.
Gumshoe is special? Oh, maybe because he's an investigator?
I don't know.
Well, technically, Bob Fulbright would be. Yeah, whatever. We'll figure it out. Alderman Cuby had been slipped some kind of sleep-inducing drug? That's right. The accused was scared because the alderman was a former pro wrestler. So he slipped him a drug to make sure he'd be out cold and defenseless.
Yeah, because Gumshoe was designed first, probably.
Yeah. Here's the autopsy report to prove it. They always give us the autopsy report on the day. And like, come on.
Seriously? Come
This
on,
is not
guys.
how real life works, but we've all agreed to that. That's probably the case. And the victim managed to attack his attacker despite being impaled by a spear. That sounds almost superhuman. Is it even possible? Well, he was a former pro wrestler after all. That spear was probably nothing more than a mosquito bite to him.
Objection!
Not so fast! Don't try to brush it all off. Don't try to brush it all off by saying the alderman had been a pro wrestler. Do you really expect us to believe he could fight back after being skewered by a spear?
I love the way his hair went from this.
Yeah, he's got a little antenna.
That was beautiful. Oh, that was beautiful.
Never heard of incredible feats of which man is. Never heard of incredible feats of which man is capable of in a pinch, have you? Like the samurai of yore, wrestlers can battle through the same intense pain. It sharpens their senses. I used to talk about it with a former wrestler I met in the clink. I don't know. It still sounds kind of a little far-fetched. Does it now? Then perhaps we should test the theory on you with the edge of my blade. What a weeb. I didn't sign up for this! Add a Santa hat on the judge and then it's Santa.
Pretty much.
Ho, 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 Merry Christmas. Oh. So your life is spared. For now. Please let those shackles be made of titanium. I don't want to die. Ha! My investigations are as thorough as they are foolproof, or my name isn't Fulbright. I vow to resign immediately if I ever make a false arrest. Oh my goodness.
Oh no. Well, that's gonna come and bite him in the ass.
Are we gonna? This is the beginning and the end of Fulbright. The accused prints were on the weapon, and he's the one person without an alibi. Quite decisive evidence. Wouldn't you agree, your balls?
Playing League with handcuffs was the worst. Cosplay packs problems.
The defendant is sounding guiltier by the minute.
Oh my god, that's just too real. I'm sorry, that was hilarious.
Here's the judge leaning toward a guilty verdict, and the trial's barely begun. Once more, a curious rumor about the accused is making the rounds. They say he seeks the merger for the purpose of freeing Tenma Taro from his prison. Truth be told, I have no real reason to show interest in such backwards murder.
Honestly, every time they say Tenma Taro, like, I don't think of the bird demon, I think of literally a taro root.
Oh, the taro root? Tenma root. Bird root. Perhaps he's a complete nutter who really does seek to release an imaginary demon. Either way. He is raving mad, more than capable of murdering the elder. Well, there's a strange one, all right. I heard he went to the blood drive, but instead of donating, he tried to make a withdrawal.
Yeah, the audience turnaround is still gonna be a little bit.
Order! There will be order! There will be no gossiping in my court. Your Honors, please take a gander at those charms plastered across his grave. I have been meant to keep him safe from possession by the demon Tenma Taro. Then again, perhaps he's already under the demon's spell. Behold! The lunatic appears poised to lunge at you at any moment. Eep!
Hold it! Rumors and quirks of Mayor Tenma have no relevance to this case. Besides, those charms on his head, they're just a fashion statement, I think.
Come to think of it, such things don't seem relevant to the case, do they? They don't. That just needs.
The prosecution remained from dragging our client's reputation through the mud.
Remain from?
Remain from.
You mean refrain from?
Refrain. Shut up.
Oh, what a dreadfully fearsome lass we have here. Whew, thanks for that lifeline, Athena.
Careful, Apollo. He has the judge dancing in the palm of his hand. The power of suggestion is one of the more powerful tools in Simon Blackwell's arsenal. He's trying to manipulate everyone's impressions to suit his objectives.
This guy really is bad news. In any case, it seems the victim did manage to defend himself despite being impaled. What sort of weapon did he use against his attacker? None other than this statue right here. It appears to be a statue of two strange creatures locked in battle. Two yokai, to be exact. On one side is the nine-tailed fox, and the other is Tenma Taro. Quite interesting if you think about it. It is as though this very case was rendered in art. Ooh. Okay, now we know what it is. No prints were found. Used to bludgeon
The mayor.
Mr. Justice, you may proceed with your cross-examination. All right, what's next? What are we doing here?
You're cross-examining his statement.
No, really?
No. Yeah,
wow!
hey,
Mind blown. Thank
asked,
you, Joyce.
You
Thank you
asked,
for that
and
stirring and absolutely amazing
Absolutely.
contribution to this case. You
I
are
know.
exceptional.
You asked. I gave you an answer. I never said it was gonna be a good answer.
Why are you here, Joyce?
Do you want to voice everything yourself?
Yeah, I can.
You
By the way,
want?
all the girl voices will sound like this. Wow, Apollo, you're really doing a great job. 90% of the voices of female voices I really do that way. Unless it's Joshua. Joshua voices in The World Ends With You was a little bit more high-pitched. I use this voice to talk to Joshua, but it's also as high as I can possibly go. Is anything higher than that sounds weird. It sounds like Mickey Mouse, haha!
Yes. Did Did you want to attempt to take a look at this through yourself?
The fingerprints of the defendant deemed attempt were found on the murder weapon. That's a lie, because... Oh, which murder weapon are we talking about?
The spear.
Okay.
I think.
I'm Alderman Cuban was asleep from a drug he was unwittingly ingested. Near 10 attacked his helpless victim, killing him looking for shish kebab. But then suddenly he jolted the victim away from the grabbed the statue and struck back. The Fulbright system.
Take a look at the autopsy report.
Back the other voice. La 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 la.
No, I said take a look at the.
Let's see here. So the murder weapon. I don't have anything for the murder weapon actually. Death stabbed with a spear. Estimated time of death around 3:20. The victim's blood had been drugged into slumber.
Is there anything else in the details?
In the calls.
No, in the autopsy details.
What's the A button on this one?
Oh, there is no. Okay, never mind. Huh? A is A.
Okay. See the tracking diagram. Nothing. Okay, you got legendary scroll. Nothing. That with spear. Okay, so the demon statue here says the weapon used to bludgeon the mayor. The mayor's blood was found on it, but no prints could be lifted. So that's a lie, because the blood doesn't belong to. The part about the alderman fighting back sounds like a big hole waiting to be poked. And I'm all about putting things in holes. Spear. Fingerprint of the defendant found the murder weapon. At the time, the alderman QB was asleep. Tema attacked this helpless victim, killing him with shish kebab, but he struck back with this thing. So that's wrong.
No.
Maybe I should press him about it. Hold it! Hold it! Can you really have attacked his attacker after being impaled with that huge spear? Absolutely. After all, he was once a pro wrestler. The injustice of being drugged, then speared, was answered with a righteous counterattack. But does being a former pro wrestler make him superhuman? Absolutely. After all, he was one of those good guys, like a superhero on the side of justice. Even though he was retired, he could still stand. He could still don his superhero guise in times of need.
Objection!
You need to lay off the comic books, detective. We're talking about real life here. Setting aside that half-wit's flight fun.
To be fair, Faye, you
aside
were.
that half-wit's flight is a fancy. The fact is this: the court ordered post-mortem. The court ordered post-mortem and concluded the victim was moved after his skin.
You've missed the investigation half from last week.
Yeah.
That's why you're confused. Don't worry.
So he found the strength somehow to attack his attacker, huh?
Detective Fulbright's testimony sounds airtight. No wonder he's so confident.
No. He only thinks it's airtight. It's up to us to poke some holes in it. That part about the alderman's fighting back sounds like a big hole waiting to be poked.
That's the one.
Which one?
The alderman fighting back.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, he grabbed the statue and struck back, but there's no fingerprints on the statue that he's grabbed. So you can't say.
Yeah, that's the one I said.
That's just a problem.
No, I said this one. There's just paying attention.
Objection!
Did the alderman really strike the mayor? What? Are you questioning my sense of justice?
Yes.
Your so-called justice needs to find itself a pair of legs to stand on. You claim the alderman struck back after the mayor put a spear through him. But the statue he supposedly used to defend himself creates a major hole in your theory. It would appear that the defense has a counter-argument. Very well, let's hear what the defense thinks is odd about the detective statue theory. QB fought unarmed, there are no fingerprints. There are no fingerprints on this supposedly crucial piece of evidence. And if you look at the crime scene photo, you'll notice that the alderman wasn't wearing gloves. Yes, I believe he is quite gloveless indeed. If he touched the statue with his bare hands, he should have left some fingerprints. Detective Fulbright, you did take that into account during your investigation, didn't you? No, this can't be happening. Did I arrest the wrong man?
Time to resign.
Bye-bye, Felicia. It was nice knowing you. Bring me back Gumshoe.
You did it, Apollo.
Bring back Gumshoe.
You knocked Detective Fulbright off his high horse.
Well, it's just 1 point in our favor.
Who do you suppose clubbed the mayor if it wasn't the alderman?
It wasn't the
Yeah.
Well, if it wasn't the alderman, that means someone else must have clubbed the mayor.
You mean there was a third party there in the Fox chamber?
Exactly. This could be the big break we've been looking for. There does seem to be a hole in the prosecution's argument. Prosecutor Blackwell, would you care to respond to the defense's assertion? The least you could do is look at me while we're... Well, the least you could do is look at me while being dismissive.
The least you could do is look at me during.
You can't look at me during? Why do you never look at me during? Your mind is as dull as an unhoned blade, Justice Donna. He even calls him Lord Justice. Justice Dano? He's been watching too many samurai flicks. Weeb. It'll take far more than that to cut down Simon Blackwell. Well, such as you has no hopes against my superior swordsmanship. And this is a trial, not a sword fight, Prosecutor Blackwell. There is a perfectly good explanation for the lack of prints on the statue. You might recall that the blood-stained cloth around the scene of the crime. Well, it just so happens that blood was the mayor's. So, what are you getting at? Own your mind, boy. Why was there blood on that cloth? Solve that riddle and you shall see the hole you thought you found is but an illusion. Now let's see. How was that cloth used? Was it used to wrap up the statue? Booyaga. Maybe the alderman wrapped the statue in the cloth. In short, he wasn't touching the statue directly. He wasn't touching the statue directly when he used it to strike back at the mayor. Ah! Besides, bully for you, boy. Oh, he does have a weird English accent. Actually, not English, it's a very Western. Bully! It's a very Texas, Midwest accent, actually. Oh, it was nothing.
Apollo, don't let him start manipulating you too. You just closed the hole for the prosecution.
I did? Oh, I did! Right. That a statue wrapped in cloth could leave no fingerprints is as plain as day. But this also proves that there are no holes in our theory of the alderman striking back. Oops! I've got a second page. The weapon used to bludgeon the mayor wrapped in a large cloth. Now do you see how dull your mind is? I'll make sure to sharpen it next time. Our particularly frightening Indians told me that will always tenderly hold his blades before he get to work, like a samurai of yore. Samurai? Sounds more like a homicidal maniac to me.
You did meet in jail.
Actually, he was working in the prison kitchen at the time.
Huh.
Wait, so the inmate was a murdering samurai prison chef? It would seem the victim and his killer were the only ones there after all. I was kind of attached to that hole. Now what? Do I just buy a new one off Amazon? I heard some of them vibrate now. It's really great.
I am trying to play through investigations too. I'm partway through. I'm partway through the case with all the sweets, and then I haven't gotten through it yet. But if they didn't find anyone's fingerprints on the statue, who's to say someone other than the alderman didn't hit the mayor with it?
Why didn't I think of that? Anybody could have not left prints on it. Then who, pray tell, struck the mayor of the statue? Please, illuminate us with your wisdom, young lady.
There's only one answer. The real killer.
Prove the existence of this real killer. What evidence do you? What evidence have you?
Oh, I'll give you evidence, all right.
Athena, are you sure about this?
To borrow your words, Apollo, I am fine. Take a look at this. Black feathers and tracks, allegedly from a yokai, were found at the scene. I believe they were from a third party who struck the mayor with that statue.
Is the defense actually suggesting some sort of monster? Is the defense actually suggesting some sort of monster killed that alderman?
That's exactly what I'm suggesting.
Objection!
No, Athena, you just lost what little credibility we had left.
Ah! Sorry. I guess I got carried away.
Mr. Justice, we've no time to deal with objections between members of the defense.
Sorry, Your Honor. It's just this kid's still, a kid.
Ouch. You meanie? I'm reporting this to Mr. Wright.
I'm telling Daddy! Daddy, call me a child, Daddy!
I mean, she is 17. He's like,
17.
he's in his 20s. She's 17,
So,
so yeah, he gets to call her a child.
Is this court to believe the feathers and the tracks are from a yokai, as you put it?
No, Your Honor. I believe they're a fabrication. The real killer wants us to believe some sort of monster murdered the alderman.
Interesting. And why do you suppose the killer would do that?
Why indeed?
Mr. Justice, you seem as new to this as your partner is.
Ouch. I'm not reporting this to Mr. Wright.
Foolite. Explain to his baldness what these brats are missing. You know, the who and the why between those feathers and tracks.
What? You mean you can explain all that?
Ha ha! Our investigative prowess is without equal.
It's Brendan in game. It is.
I'm starting to think I chose the wrong profession.
It's Prosecutor Brendan.
I should have gone back to stripping.
Very well, let's hear about those so-called yokai feathers and tracks. I don't know. This entire case centers on one man's attempt to crush opposition to the municipal merger. Mayor Tenma panicked when the amazing Nine Tails helped embolden the protesters. He stoked the villagers' fear by fabricating a monster. It's the bird that I propped up with the lightsaber one time.
Yeah.
The strange feathers and tracks he planted made it look like a yokai was the killer.
Those feathers and tracks stoked the villagers' fears?
Absolutely! He knew exactly how to prey on their superstitious minds. Those feathers only gave weight to the idea that the alderman was slain by a demon. The accursed demon Tenmataro, that is. Tenma who?
Tim, what?
Tenmataro, the legendary demon locked away in the village's forbidden chamber. From a young age, the villagers are taught to fear the great black-feathered demon, and thus they were blinded to other, more plausible explanations.
Hold it! Hold on for a second. Before we start letting our imaginations run wild, isn't there someone else that could be considered a suspect?
Mr. Justice, please explain yourself.
On the day of the incident, there was a special event held at QB Manor. As part of this event, there was someone dressed in the likeness of Tenmataro. Obviously, this person is much more likely to suspect than any legendary demon.
Objection!
Objection! Oh, he's got a weird voice. Dullard. Are you playing right into the killer's mind games?
What?
Listen here. The feathers and the tracks were merely red herrings. The villagers believe the murder to be the work of the real Tenmataro. However, the police believe that the person in the Tenmataro suit is the killer.
Ah! The defendant sought to save this confusion in order to deflect blame away from himself. However, he was knocked unconscious by the alderman, and thus our mentally deficient mayor was caught red-handed at the scene of the crime.
Objection!
Do you honestly believe Mayor Tenma would do something so stupid?
Objection!
Oh god, I want to try that voice out. Objection! The evidence speaks for itself, Fulbright. No, the evidence, what was it?
I don't know, I didn't read the whole thing. I was just listening.
Fulbright. I think that's the way his voice is. Objection! Does that feel better? Do you want me to do the lower English voice or the high like punchy voice? Fulbright. Objection. Right. It was the mayor's last-ditch effort to stop the opposition before things got crazy. The Amazing Nine Tails was fueled with both the yokai craze and the anti-merger movement with his giant 9 schwanzes. Plus, he's one of the better-known masked wrestlers, and the hometown's favorite. That's why the mayor panicked and set out on the path of injustice. He reminds me of like a Power Ranger now.
A little bit.
I'm gonna give him that voice now. That's why the mayor panicked and set out on the path of justice. But do the people of the Nine-Tailsville really believe a yokai is behind the crime? Yokai sightings are an everyday event there, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I must say, a crime that preys upon the innocent, impressionable minds. Just so. He's very Sentai, yeah, he's very Power Ranger-esque. Just so. A particularly silver-tongued inmate once had the following words for me. The innocent of heart are the easiest of prey. Don't say. What, was this inmate a con artist? No. He was framed for the murder of his beloved. I actually felt sorry for the poor chap.
No.
Wait, so he wasn't the predator, but rather the prey? Yes, well. Now then, the defense may proceed with their cross-examination. Our case centers on the man's attempt to crush the opposition's municipal merger. Mayor Tenma panicked when the Amazing Nine Tails helped embolden the protesters. He stoked the villagers' fear by fabricating a monster. Mayor Tenma panicked when the Amazing Nine Tails helped. Oh, sorry. He fabricated the monster. Is that what he said? The strange feathers and tracks planted made it look like the yokai was the killer. I feel that's wrong, isn't it? The sole document showing what Tematara looks like. It seems as if you choose to depict his team in a curse. No. Newspaper with Tematara soaring through the air. A photo of the hero who sparked the monster crates and saved the Nine Tails from being a ghost town. Not quite. Eyewitness account of the demon in the hallway near the crime scene. She says inflicted with a foyer.
You want to press on something.
Said of the man's attempt to crush the opposition to the municipal merger. Mayor Tenma panicked.
Hello, May!
Hello, where am I pressing here?
The last statement.
Strange feathers and tracks.
Hold it!
But it doesn't add up. If what you say is true, why top it off with murder? What do you mean? You claim our client planted the yokai evidence to stoke the villagers' fears. If so, then why stop there? And why murder Alderman Cuby? Excellent point. It is, isn't it? So Your Honor agrees there was no reason for the murder, correct?
Objection!
Objection. Yeah, he's got a... Perhaps the killing was spurred by the moment. Perhaps the killing was spurred at the moment. Are you saying it wasn't premeditated? From the outset, I had no intention of paying heed to any of your rabble. However, the fact is the mayor made a startling discovery. A startling discovery? Why don't I like the sound of that? Alderman Cuby's secret identity.
Apollo! I think Prosecutor Blackwell's figured out the Alderman's secret identity. But even if he has, why would it be a motive for the mayor to commit murder?
I this is not good.
This patch of fur was discovered at the crime scene. It's from the mask worn by the amazing Nine Tails, or as we say in the business, the giant Nine Schwanzes. Therefore, we can conclude that this mask was at the crime scene. Oh my! Well, why would it have been there? Slow turn, Panda. The victim was a former pro wrestler and a member of the anti-merger movement. Need I say more? Well, could it really be? Your baldness has an epiphany, I see. Our victim, Rex Cube, was the amazing Nine-Tailed Schwanz! And the mayor's discovery of such was his motive for murder.
You mean the Nine Schwanz talk?
Nine-Tailed Tails.
Okay.
Imagine that voice coming out of Brendan now. The Schwanz? Nine-Tailed Schwanz. At first it was a very low-pitched English voice, but when I heard the objection, sounds a bit more punchy. Order! What a shocking development. A motive clear than crystal clear.
What do we do now, Apollo?
I didn't think they tied the Alderman's secret identity to the mayor's motive for murder.
At last we've reached our real point. At last we've reached my real point. Why did the alderman have to forge a secret identity?
Ooh, pizza and cupcakes. Oh, I miss those things. Those are good things to eat.
I want them.
Those are good recovery things to eat.
Blackwell, the amount of slams on the desk, he's gonna break it at some point. Has anyone actually broken their desks in Ace Attorney? No, right?
I don't know.
Those things are hardy. They are sturdy AF.
I don't think anyone's broken it yet. Tell me, Brendan, has anyone broken the desk yet? The prosecutor's desk.
Does it not pique your interest, your baldness? I admit it does. It is odd that he had to create this other persona, just to secretly participate in the anti-merger movement. Very astute of you, your baldness. Right, I'll take a look. Now take a look at this. Blackmail letter. If you value your dearest life, you will merge the Nine Tails. If you value your dearest life, you will merge Nine Tails Vale with Tenma Town. Do not tell anyone about this threat. If you do, consider yourself as good as dead. Your dearest life.
It sounds more like...
If you value your dearest life, you will merge Nine Tails Vale with Tenma Town. And this blackmail letter was found in the Alderman QB's pocket.
What?
At present, the Alderman's wife is in the hospital. And that letter is clear evidence the mayor was blackmailing him by threatening her life. Okay, so the Alderman's wife is still alive.
Wait, didn't the blackmail letter sent... What? Did the blackmail letter sent to Mayor Tenma go missing?
I don't think I know Brendan.
Right after the Alderman's murder? Yeah, I don't think May knows Brendan.
I don't think they met in person. If she'd ever gone to a New Year's party, she might have.
Maybe.
She might have.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, that's the suggestion that May actually went. May's
Yeah. The implication is that May never goes to our New Year's party. She always has something better to do, and then every time she comes back saying it was the worst day ever. So. And yet she keeps going back though. We did the SAO cosplay together. That's right.
Did.
I have a photo of that somewhere. I think it's my room. You're always absent, man. Yeah, no. Brendan was there with our photo shoot when we did the SAO group.
Yeah.
And there's this one random kid in it we didn't know. We just assumed that was one of our friends.
And,
We're having that
May
kid
is just straight up like
leaning on him. Yeah.
like you don't belong here, so we're just gonna.
You think maybe the killer took the letter from the mayor? The mayor
May was
after the
also in
murder?
AOT. It's also part of that.
That was many years ago. Yeah.
And planted it in the alderman's thick pockets.
It's possible, but we don't have any proof that's what happened.
How about being up a creek without a paddle?
Mayor Tenma would have made a clean getaway if he had just left after planting the yokai beans. But he was knocked out cold by the sudden decision to kill the amazing Nine Tails.
I have ambivalent memories of those days. I know what you mean.
So, it was the amazing Nine Tails counterattack that brought this entire crime to light.
Wait a second. Fulbright's claiming the mayor killed the alderman after planting the yokai evidence. And that the mayor was knocked out cold immediately after that?
To be fair, I'm starting to get back into SAO now because we binge watched Alicization, and that is a good arc. Okay, Alicization is a good arc. It made me care for the characters again, and like
There's a lot of development. Kirito is like literally only in half of it,
yeah.
which is good because it leaves the other half for development of the characters before
Yeah.
he comes in and saves the day.
Yeah.
Which what they were missing in like
Gun Gale.
Gun Gale had a full 23 episodes. I'm thinking like Ironclad arc and the ALO arc. So the first season that was literally try to split
Two whole
try to
arcs
merge
into-
2 books into one season.
Yeah.
Sense of cosplay
Yeah.
is coming.
Alicization was good.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. Go watch Alicization. And then let a IP address break your heart.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Detective Fulbright, please add your previous statement to your testimony.
Yeah, Tenma killed the sleeping alderman after planting the feathers and tracks.
Alright, there must be something wrong with this new one.
Yeah. I've never been to a convention before. It's not going to stop me from annoying the shit out of my parents to go when the world opens up again. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah,
Super
absolutely.
fun.
What if we give you
If only
not
there's
a
a dumb blonde involved. There's a...
There's a blonde, but she's not dumb.
Yeah.
She's
Alice herself.
she's like a straight up integrity knight, which is pretty good. Pretty good. Cool.
At least this time you'll know for sure, like, when you see her, she's not going to be an absolute terrible human being, a terrible character. Because last time we suckered May into cosplaying Leafa, and everyone fucking hates Leafa. You could cosplay Leafa again. Did you want to do that? She's in ALO. Oh, she's in Alicization. And she's equally as useless there, too. So he sent the tracks after planning.
Oh hell.
But... Okay, so Tenma killed the sleeping alderman after planting the feathers and tracks. But that's not possible because the footsteps are in the blood.
Indeed.
So if I double check... I'll just check this in here. I double check the photo. There are bloody footprints and the black feathers scattered on top of the blood. Yeah, so that can't be possible. Because he killed him first and then scattered the feathers. If he scattered the feathers and then killed him... Like, this doesn't make any sense. Is that just me?
If he killed the alderman first and
Yeah.
then planted the feathers.
That makes sense.
This is the that was the crime scene photo, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's correct.
Am I right? I'm not crazy?
Objection!
No, you're not crazy.
Detective Fulbright, your sense of justice is anything but fair.
What's this? You dare question my justice again? I'm gonna give him a surfer voice after this because
Alright.
it sounds better.
Yes, and I'm going to prove it to you. Take a look at this photo.
This is the crime scene photo. And just what does it prove?
It proves when the feathers and tracks were planted. But I already told you, they were planted before the murder. The defendant planted the yokai evidence, and then was knocked out while killing this victim. Look at this photograph!
Yeah, but that would be impossible. You can't plant the.
But that would be
bloody-
impossible. If you look right here, it's clear when the feathers and tracks were left at the scene.
The tracks themselves.
Steps, yeah.
Yeah.
Take that!
Aren't you just pointing to the yokai's feathers and tracks, Mr. Justice?
Yes. See how the feathers are on top of the blood, and the tracks were made in the blood? In other words, the yokai evidence could have only resulted after the murder. Then the mayor must have planted the evidence after killing the alderman. But you said yourself, the mayor had been knocked out unconscious thereafter. There would have been no time for him to plant the evidence at all. Therefore, there must have been somebody else besides the mayor and the alderman at the crime scene.
Yeah.
There must be some mistake.
You say cons are probably not going to happen for a while, but there's that one LA con that's still proceeding, and that's not a good idea.
They're trying to do COVID, like a COVID health standard, but I don't know how they're going to enforce
Not
that.
with
There's
all
already
those
been a few
people.
conventions that have happened, but they're just like, well, let the people do it. Like, we're not going to enforce it. The people aren't good enough to do it themselves. I'm like, That's
Yeah.
just passing the buck.
Like, to be fair, whenever it is safe to go back to cons in person, definitely recommend it. But man, it's not gonna happen. In the next year,
Order!
at least.
Where's your evidence? You can't possibly have any, can you? Evidence? Evidence? Oh, I have evidence. In fact, I have an eyewitness's testimony for you. You do? But how? Oh. Is my vaunted sense of justice really just half-baked?
Oh no, I feel like I'm actually genuinely hurting his feelings.
He's taking this really hard.
Mr. Justice, what is this testimony regarding a third party that you claim to have?
I have it right here, Your Honor. It's the sworn testimony of Mr. Tenma's daughter. The witness, Jinxie Tenma, saw yokai in the hallway after stumbling upon the scene.
You can deal with a kick his ass.
It was the demon, Tenma Taro. He's the source of those feathers and tracks.
Sorry, Tenma did
Did
Jinxie
witness
did say.
witness a Temataro figure bolting down the foyer.
So we're back to the demon theory.
Yeah. Well, obviously it's not a demon; it's a person
I know.
inside the suit.
I know.
But everyone just claims it. I love the fact that you can see Apollo with his finger stretched out. And everyone's just like, what?
I'm not putting this finger down.
Will someone please say something? The defense will explain to the court exactly what he means.
You dare to mock this court and justice itself? You're unfit to bear your name, boy!
Your baldness. It appears a defense attorney. He is delirious from exhaustion.
Hold it! Apollo, think of something quick before you're held in contempt of court.
What do you think I'm trying to do? Before you decide whether I should step down, please, hear me out.
Very well, Mr. Justice, I'm all ears, but you better have a good explanation for yourself. What was this yokai you were talking about?
It's all in the statement here. Jinxie Tenma asserts that she saw Tenma Taro. After she discovered the crime scene and called the police. She came around the corner in the hall. It was around here that she saw Tenma Taro fleeing towards the foyer. The defense asserts that whoever was impersonating this monster is the one who left those feathers and tracks behind, intentionally or otherwise.
What?
Wow, how incredibly unjust. Why haven't I heard about this before?
The defense just proved he was someone else.
So the bear isn't the killer?
Is it all a setup? The prosecutor is a convicted felon after all.
Apollo, the momentum has shifted in our favor.
Good. Let's keep it that way.
Objection!
Objection! Yeah, he's got a very pertinent voice. Very sharp cutting. That means he's more of a weeb. Little do you realize that though you are in the midst of a fray, your sword is broken.
My sword? I didn't know I had one to break. I just caught my schwanz. And I'll have you know it's a big one. Are you implying there's a problem with my claim?
Fine, there's a problem with your schwanz.
Consider this. If that yokai impersonator had indeed fled towards the foyer, that fool and that fop would have seen him.
Have you been talking to him?
Fool and thought. Oh, you mean Fitch and LaBelle? Huh, now that you mention it.
Both Phineas Filch and Florence LaBelle were in the foyer at the time. But they haven't stated what they said, and they haven't stated that they saw a yokai, have they? Did you ever consider that the yokai was but a figment of a scared little girl's imagination?
Why didn't those two see the Tenma Taro impersonator pass by?
Because they're in cahoots!
They're in cahoots, yeah. One of them is the killer.
Why don't we ask them ourselves?
I was just about to say that myself. No, really, I was. The defense would like to call Mr. Phineas Filch, caretaker of QB Manor, to the stand. I just know he must have seen something.
I suppose we can't ignore the fact that the little girl believes she saw a monster. I trust you have no objections to Mr. Justice's request, Prosecutor Blackwell. I understand that Mr. Filch is enjoying a nap out in the lobby.
Yeah.
I knew that Tanuki was a rare find. But when we captured him, I didn't think he'd be able to do with him what you will.
Ah, he's got a Tanuki face.
Ah, he's a Tanuki. That makes sense.
That makes sense.
Also, it's very good that we don't see the bottom half of him.
Good was he would have had giant balls.
Giant scrotum! Yes. For those of you who don't know what Tanukis look like in Japanese folklore, Google it with great care.
Great care.
Great care. It is not safe for work. Very well then. Bailiff, please go wake Mr. Filch and escort him to the witness stand. Yeah, he's got the Tanuki beard, that's it. And the ears. Will the witness state his name and occupation, please? What was his voice?
The name is Filch. Phineas Filch, caretaker of QB Manor.
Oh, and this is for you, your lordship.
Just a little something I thought you might like.
Oh my! What a fabulous pair of shoes. And your honor will do just fine, Mr. Filch.
Oh, it's those shoes again.
Don't they belong to the Detective Fulbright?
I can't believe he didn't get his shoes back.
Again.
Don't tell me Filch stole them again.
Because we gave them back.
They're all yours, your honorship, sir. What? But they seem awfully expensive.
Yep, too expensive for me, but I reckon they'd be perfect for someone like you, your honorship.
It's a kind gesture, but legal ethics dictate I can't accept such things.
Oh, ethics. Just take them if you want them. Polish them up real nice for you, too.
I'm sorry about the shoes, Mr. Filch, but I will accept your testimony. The court would like to hear whether you saw Ken Mataro in the foyer after the murder. Is this what it feels like being in court? Not really, no. This is nothing like real life court. Real life court is boring as fuck.
At the time of the murder, I was on guard duty in the foyer, just like Mr. QB's asked. I was making sure no one, fair, foul, or fishy or otherwise, could get to our guest. I was still in my office keeping a good watch when the murder happened at 3 p.m. Well, I didn't see nothing out of the ordinary, no siree!
Oh, I saw him twitch a little bit. That yokai you keep jabbering on was but a phantom of a little girl's dream.
Aw, real court is boring.
Real court is boring.
I know, right?
Every time you see it, it's like, oh my god, surprise witnesses, crazy testimony, random acts of like, random entering of
evidence.
Nothing like that.
Not at all allowed.
The entire court system is that everyone knows exactly what's there before they go into it, so they can make a proper and informed decision if they want to waste people's time.
Yeah.
So everyone's like someone says like, I didn't steal anything from you. I didn't sign no contracts. I didn't do this. Like, I have a contract right here. Here's your name. Here's the evidence that you did participate, and here's the text messages that said you did it. So, do you really want to go into this? Because as soon as I do, the court decision will be you lose, and then if they decide to go through it, they will lose, and it'll probably be a lot worse for them because the judge is gonna be like, you knew this was garbage, and you brought this in front of me. So yeah, the whole court system is to make things as fast as possible in the court, but so it makes it super fucking boring. Anyway,
So you're telling this court you never saw anyone dressed up like Ten Mataro?
Yep, was guarding the whole time. That's the truth, the holy truth, not a but of the truth.
Nothing but...
Ten Mataro? Bah, you don't really believe in that yokai mumbo jumbo, do ya? I certainly don't.
Huh? Oh, he's lying.
My bracelet. It's...
Something the matter, Apollo?
Must not fap. My bracelet keeps squeezing my arm.
Really? So you think Mr. Filch has been lying to us?
I wouldn't rule it out.
Look at Apollo's ready to backhand him, like...
Sudden sense to smack a bitch. Now if I could just zero in on a tell, some sort of nervous habit.
Oh my god, bird!
What in the hell? What's a hawk doing in here?
Allow me to introduce my trusty cohort, Tucker. He seems to have taken quite a liking to the courthouse. Made it his new home, in fact.
He doesn't live with you? He doesn't live with you? You know? No, sorry. He doesn't live with you? You know? In jail? Who's ever heard of a courthouse bird?
I mean, this isn't the first bird that's been in this courthouse.
No.
Taka simply loathes trickery and fraud. And that queer power of yours seems to have offended my dear bosom buzzard.
Yeah.
Bosom buzzard.
This isn't some sort of trick. Ah! I won't be able to spot squat like this.
What the heck is going on around here? Run for the hills! No pets or other animals are allowed in the courtroom. Now, somebody help!
Oh, he's merely having a bit of sport. He won't harm you, save when truly famished.
In that case, Prosecutor Blackwell, will you ensure your feathered friend is properly fed?
Looks like we have to do this the old-fashioned way.
We'll be fine, I think. If there was someone dressed as Tema Taro there, Filch would have seen him. We'll just have to put our faith in Jinxie's Jinxie's statement for now.
I really press something.
Yeah. Mr. Justice, please proceed with your cross-examination.
Actually, not pressing anything.
At the time of the murder, I was on guard duty.
Uh-huh.
I was making sure no one fair foul looking into our guests. I was still in my office keeping a good watch when the murder happened at 3 p.m. I was making sure no one... No, I'm pressing that. But I didn't see nothing out of the ordinary, no siree.
Go back one. Fishy here.
How do you know the murder happened at 3?
Hold it!
On top of which the murder happened at 3:20. Did you really keep an eye on the foyer the entire time?
Oh, sad to Mickey face. Oh, Filchy, been working hard my whole life. Only to be smeared by some greenhorn in his schmancy suit and a silly haircut.
Ah! Sorry, Mr. Blackwell, sir. I didn't mean to get off subject there. Sheesh, Blackwell didn't even say anything.
To answer your question, yes, I kept an eye. No, both of them, in fact, on the foyer.
Which is what he didn't do. Yeah. Take a look at your court records. Yeah.
Okay, so the murder occurred on 3:20. And the victim had been... Okay, that's fine. 3 p.m. How it works out. But his program guide said the afternoon wrestling match was a total disaster. But that happened at 3. So obviously he wasn't watching the foyer, he was watching the TV show.
He was watching the Twilight fight.
He's watching the Twilight fight, yeah, that's right. The description on that fight is between a vampire character and a werewolf character.
I think the word Twilight was actually even
And
in
then the
it.
word Twilight was used, yeah. Like, could this be the twilight of the victory, twilight of this man's career, or something like that?
I don't know.
I like that all these residents of Fanban Japantown have English accents. Yeah. Don't lie to the court like that, Mr. Filch.
Hey, it ain't right to bushwhack a fella like that.
Fortunately for you, I have evidence that proves you're lying. If you look at this TV listing here, you'll see at the time of the crime, there was a pro wrestling match scheduled. Something you'd never miss.
Oh! I didn't watch that one, no siree. I was doing my job just like I was supposed to.
This guy doesn't know when to give up. Mr. Filch, someone even circled the match. It was you, right?
Dipes?
Not only that, you even told me you watched it. You said, and I quote, "Oh, it was a complete disaster."
Ugh!
It was a complete disaster.
No, it was a complete disaster. So you do admit slacking off. You can't trick me with your ruddy poo lawyer talk. I'm one of them professional types too. You can do doubly duty. I I could do double duty, watching TV and the foyer at the same time. Filch is an idiot. He is an idiot.
Yes.
The only Filch can claim to be the only thing Filch can claim to be a professional of is a professional thief. Mr. Justice, you would have this court believe the witness is slacking off? That's correct. He claims to have been watching TV and the foyer at the same time. But that's nothing but a bald-faced lie. All you say? But I'm not the one who's lying. Perhaps you meant the witness, Mr. Justice. Oh my god.
Also, the judge is an idiot.
And in that case, let's see what evidence you can offer. You claim Mr. Filch was lying about watching TV and the foyer simultaneously. Now prove it.
Take a look at the layout.
Yeah, so the caretaker's office is here. The TV is facing towards the corner and not the foyer. So there's no way he could see both.
Take that!
Take that! Please take a look at the direction the TV is facing in this diagram. Now, unless Mr. Filch has eyes where his right ears should be, I think it would be impossible to watch the foyer entrance and the TV at the same time. Ah, yes. Somebody watching TV there couldn't possibly see the entrance. Exactly. And that means, Mr. Filch, you were slacking off and were not watching the foyer as you claimed. Yipes! The bag's out of the cat. I mean, the other way around. Rabble, 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 rabble. He's got a little box there to keep propping up.
Yeah, that's cute.
Apollo is Deku for now. He is best boy, yeah. Order! Mr. Justice, is Mr. Filch's less than stellar work ethic relevant to this case?
It's very relevant, because while he was slacking off watching TV, there really could have been a Temataro impersonator in the foyer.
Objection!
Excuse me. What now? Granted, this Tanuki was lax in his duties, but he still had the foyer entrance covered. Yeah. What are you talking about? Oh, screechies. I'm not a mind reader. Auditory sense. His eyes may have been slacking off, but his ears were still working hard. Right, Tanuki? Were they? Yes, they were. But you already admitted to slacking off. How could you say you weren't? My eyes might be lazy, but my ears ain't. I would have heard anyone in that foyer. You see, the foyer floor and stairwell get all creaky squeaky when someone walks on them. Creak, creak, creak. Loud enough to wake the dead, I reckon. So you're saying you didn't hear anybody walk by? Yep, my ears were working full time. So who's the liar now, you no good shyster? Lying thief calling me a shyster? That has to be the low point of my fledgling career. Gotta hand it to you, Mr. Blackquill. Sir, you really are something else. I mean, you don't miss a thing. And them bags under your eyes, they're darker than mine. Fair warning, Mr. Filch. Taka is particularly fond of Tanuki. Should you lie in this court again, you may suddenly find yourself on the menu. Oh my god. Yikes! Oh, please don't eat me, Mr. Taka, sir!
Aww.
The witness will henceforth testify truthfully under the penalty of very painful cock attacks. Bird attacks. And with that in mind, the court requests that the witness revise his testimony accordingly. I love how twitchy he is. Ears working overtime. It's true, I was watching a pro wrestling match on the office TV. My eyes might have been slacking off, but my ears, they were working overtime. The floor there is all creaky squeaky like. No way I would have missed someone walking by. So you see, there's no Temataro in the foyer. Superstition is the religion of feeble minds. Understand?
Does this mean
A simple rational explanation is best. Forget yokai, demons, and such. We must use common sense, for lacking that our entire world will be but upside down.
You know, I think Apollo probably does cry. If he doesn't cry, I'd be disappointed.
Manly tears.
Considering what's going to happen in this game.
True.
Considering what is going to happen in this game, If there are no tears of sadness or frustration, I will be mildly disappointed.
Says the convicted prosecutor who's totally a sign of the end times for the legal world. And besides, if there were any kind of yokai roaming around, I'd nab them and sell them to the zoo.
I wonder whether Jinxie was just seeing things. He also does sweat a lot. I'm just sweating from my eyes.
That seems to be the general consensus, but I'm sticking to my guns. I remain silent.
I know. But if we can't prove that she saw Tenmataro, the mayor's sure to be convicted.
Then we better hope my guns fire bullets and not BBs. I better not be shooting blanks. I'm still a young stud. My schwanz is good, I swear. The defense may cross-examine the witness with his schwanz.
Gari's 100%.
It's true. I was watching a pro wrestling match on the television. Might have been slacking off on my ears. They were working overtime. The floors are all creaky, squeaky like. No way I would have missed someone walking by. Yeah. So you see, there weren't no Tenmataro in the foyer. So I'm gonna push on those squeaky floors.
Yeah.
Hold it!
That's very interesting.
That's also new information.
Yeah. So you have pretty good. Yeah. So you have pretty good ears, Miss. Yeah. Sorry. My throat is getting really rough. So you have pretty good ears, Mr. Filch.
Want some Wawa?
I have one.
Well, then drink your Wawa.
As good as they come. As good as they come, I'd say. Ain't nothing to hear a creaky floor. Plus that Tenmataro makes a sound when he goes by. It's like a jingle jangle. Wait,
And how do you know that?
Jingle jangle? How does he do that? It's that staff of his. That's what jingle jangles.
Interesting. What's he talking about, Apollo?
Beats me, but I guess Tenmataro has a staff that makes noise.
Come to think of it, didn't Jinxie mention something like that too? She said she saw Tenmataro holding a staff-like object that made a jangly sound.
I guess that's the source of the noise then. Well, Mr. Justice, Mr. Filch says Tenmataro jingle jangles. Would you consider this vital information?
Very important.
Very important indeed.
Very important.
Extremely vital. I request it be added to this testimony.
Ah.
The staff would have jingled.
Present. You know what the thing is?
But this has no jingle jangle here.
Exactly.
So why would he have a staff?
Exactly.
There's no there's no record or mythos behind it.
Exactly.
Objection!
Tenmataro's staff would have made a jangly sound, you say? Well, I'm going to say that your story doesn't add up. Is there something the defense would like to share with the court? Mr. Filch, you say that you didn't see Tenmataro on the day of the incident. Then why would you assume just now that Tenmataro would be holding a staff? Huh? You see, the Tenmataro Jinxie saw held a staff in his hands. And she described it sounds just like you did, as a kind of jangly sound. Yeah, so he was holding a staff. What's your point?
Objection!
The point is that Tenmataro doesn't use a staff. Not normally. What are you talking about? You see, this is the only known document depicting Tenmataro. Is there a staff in that picture, Mr. Filch? All right. There is no staff. Not even a cane or a walking stick. Ah! So the question is, why does the witness think Tenmataro uses a staff? I believe the answer will overturn the prosecution's case on the most basic level. Well, that Schwann's block tag on Instagram. Yeah, too many penis.
Probably.
Well, now this is getting interesting. All right, Mr. Justice, it's time to show the court where you're going with this. Please tell the court why Mr. Filch believes Tenmataro carries a staff. He saw Tenmataro. He saw it. He's lying!
Lying,
Lies!
son of a bitch!
You're lying, son of a bitch. Mr. Filch actually saw Tenmataro right after the crime occurred. That's the only way he could possibly know about the staff. Bust it again. Bloody hell, you duplicitous. What's this? You duplicitous.
He does have an English accent.
Yeah.
Yes! How does that feel, Blackwell? Not so funny when you're on the receiving end of the blade, is it? I admit, Mr. Filch. Admit it, Mr. Filch. You did see Temotaro that day, didn't you? Well? I'm begging you, please don't make me say it. But clearly you did see Temotaro.
Told you he was British.
Stop stalling and testify to that fact. No can do. No way, no how. You ain't got no idea how terrifying he could be. Mr. Filch still won't admit seeing Temotaro, even though everyone already knows he did. The question now is why?
Mr. Filch is scared to death.
Is that why he can't admit the truth?
Come to think of it. They say you must not gaze upon Temotaro, but in the event that you do look, and then go tell anyone that you saw, Temotaro will claim your soul. Jinxie wouldn't admit to seeing Temotaro after hearing about the village superstitions. She said that if she told anyone that she had seen Temotaro, he'd claim her soul.
Wait, you think Filch believes that too? So, Mr. Big Time City Slicker Lawyer. Mr. Big Time City Slicker Lawyer has heard about him. Old village superstitions.
Will the defense please explain what the witness is talking about?
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
Indeed.
The people of Ninetales Vale believe some pretty strange things. And their superstitions may be the reason our witness here can't admit the truth. The truth that he really did see Temotaro. Darn straight, that's why. It's all right here.
Yeah, do not gaze upon Temotaro, do not tell others you've seen him. Ignoring this superstition will cost you your soul. There is, however, one way to save it. Your immediate departure from the village. Freeing him will bring ruin upon the village.
Ignoring the superstitions will cost you your soul? See? That's why old folks at Ninetales Vale can't talk about seeing Temotaro.
That's weird. There's a lot of
There's a death note?
I'm surprised there's a giant book about it, but
That clears up one mystery. The killer took advantage of the superstitions by wearing a Temotaro costume. They knew that that way no one could talk about him. So it was as if he never existed. The defense holds that this Temotaro impersonator is the true killer.
what?
Rabble, 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 rabble.
Objection!
Oh,
Ooh, that's a little grainy.
superstitions, you say? What kind of fool would actually believe such rubbish? Who would use that? And who would? And would that using some silly fairy tale so easily expose? And would that using some silly fairy tale so easily expose the culprit? You'll need to come up with a more rational, common sense explanation than that.
Objection!
This looks pretty bad.
Your common sense seems awfully narrow-minded to me, Prosecutor Blackwell.
Objection!
Objection.
Try living in my world of narrow cells, mortal danger, and dark, sleepless nights.
There is no lack of superstitions, they think. Few are those who truly believe in them.
Objection!
Well, the village superstitions are real enough to the people of the Ninetales Vale. A life or death superstition might even make you a believer.
Ah! Oh, he's getting real frustrated. Jesus Christ. Looks pretty bad. Order, order, I say. You fool of a Tanuki. 2 times now, your lies have cost me.
Sorry, I promise not to do it again.
I can't really tell, I'm just going along with it. Tucker, my fine feathered friend. Have at him.
Yoink! He's gonna eat me alive! Head for the hills!
Oh, he actually just runs.
He took off.
Bailiff, what are you waiting for? After him, and with your fastest man.
That's certainly not something you see every day. But then again, if I'm working for the right agency, I think it will be something I
Pretty
see every
fucking
day.
standard. It's pretty damn
Pretty
standard.
standard now. Just you wait, Athena. That's
Well-
gonna be standard.
Well, it would seem a new and important fact has come to light. A third party disguised as the yokai Tenma Taro was at the scene. And now we have 2 witnesses who can attest to that fact.
Ooh.
2 witnesses. Any objections, Prosecutor Blackwell?
Ooh, dang. He broke his chains. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
What?
Oh! Oh! His shackles! Oh my god.
Uh-oh. Oh.
Oh my
we're gonna
God.
die.
Yeah, I'm too young to die! Oh. Justice Dog. Long has it been since I've been forced to draw my blade. You had best say your prayers. Who gave him a sword? Ian! I love that the judge books it, screaming like a little girl. Aye! Runs away. He doesn't actually have a sword, right? Who gives him a sword? I think he's just making the motion for it. Where the fuck's the bailiffs? Yeah, they're gone. Detective, do something! Ha ha! Have no fear, Fulbright is here! When the going gets tough, the champion of justice gets going!
Objection!
They get going already before he kills us! Oh, but I stand in awe of Simon Blackwell, for it is his sense of justice that set him free. Oh my god. Is his nose bleeding?
No, I don't think so.
Objection! Objection! I object to Detective Fulbright's definition of justice. This looks silence. Ooh.
Ooh! Silence. Yes, Fulbright's voice changed.
I changed him to be a little bit more dramatic and a little less Shatner. I'm not in the habit of cutting down on armed cowards. Oh, well, in that case, Prosecutor Blackwell, can I ask you to, I think the judge forgot he's in charge here. So, Justice Dono's assertion is this. Tenma Taro is the real killer, not the Mayor Tenma. According to him, there was a yokai at the scene of the crime. Right, and that yokai, or rather, whatever was impersonating him, killed Alderman Kilby.
Silence.
Oh my god! Jesus. Care to explain why Jinxie, being the first to discover the murder, did not see your alleged killer yokai there in the fox chamber? What? He's right. She said nothing about Tamataro being in the fox chamber. Let me enlighten you. The little scamp heard a dying scream right before she opened the chamber door. And your point is? Upon opening the door, she found a freshly skewered murder victim, the alderman, and the homicidal maniac who had killed him, the mayor. No! There must have been someone dressed up like Tenma. Ah! Then why does that little scamp claim not to have seen a yokai in the fox chamber? Considering her father is accused of murder, surely she would have mentioned any third party that might have been in the room. I don't understand. Why didn't she see Tenma Taro inside the fox chamber? There is but one way to find out. Ask Jinxie Tenma whether she saw your killer yokai at the scene of the crime. Uh-oh. The final battle draws nigh. Only one of us will leave here alive. Long has my blade thirsted for blood. At long last it shall be sated. Wait, this is still a trial, right? Show me what you're truly capable of. Justice Dono! I'm gonna have him like do the Justice Dono! Like you'll like switch to like a really weedy voice whenever he does something Japanesey.
He's watched far too many,
It's like I, the samurai!
The Twisted Samurai.
The twisted samurai! With my trusty blade, a katana! just bullshitting his way through it. Very well, both parties no doubt need some time to regroup. So the court will take a 10-minute recess in order to... Oh! 3 minutes. I'm sorry, but a 3-minute recess? Just so. Plenty of time if your destination of intent is to the loo. JoJo references, where now?
I don't know. There might have been a JoJo reference in what Black Hole was saying.
About...
I don't know.
About what?
I missed it. You're the one who actually watches...
Yeah, I didn't catch it, that's why. The loo? You mean the bathroom? Sheesh. At least include enough time to wash our hands. See that you take no more than 3 minutes. All latecomers will be punished. Yes, sir. I hereby declare a 3-minute recess before the battle begins.
Oh my god. I declare Prosecutor Blackwell the winner of this round of Simon Says.
Doesn't bode well for us if the prosecutor is running the show, does it?
I love how there's like a hot water machine now
Yeah, yeah.
for the tea.
Is that new?
That's new. I've never seen it before.
He busted out of his shackles.
Yeah, what was that all about? Guess they don't make shackles like they used to.
Better be careful, Apollo. You really brought out the samurai in him. Especially after you proved there was a Tenmantaro impersonator at the manor.
What's with that guy and the whole samurai act anyway?
Such fine swordsmanship. That is no mere act. Mr. Justice, it's high time I challenge this jailhouse prosecutor to a duel.
No, wait! Let's have the dueling. Let's save the dueling until after we prove your innocence.
I suppose I could wait till later.
Does anyone remember we're still conducting a trial here? Athena, I'm gonna go wash up.
Remember what Blackwell said, Apollo. Don't be late. L5R? L5R.
I don't know. Ah!
What's L5R? Tell me!
What's in the box? Now then, I believe our next witness is Miss Jinxie Tenma, a maid at QB Manor. I believe we can proceed now if the witness is ready.
Oh, Legend of Fire Ring.
okay.
Okay.
Oh, she's got a cute little mirror that she reflects
Oh!
so that she can see things, right?
Yeah. Nurari, yo, leader of the 100 demons. He really exists.
Magical
Wow.
Samurai D&D. Oh.
That's one well-polished tray.
The witness will show her face while in court, or her testimony will be inadmissible.
Ah,
What is it, my child?
be gone. Nurari, yo, leader of the 100 demons.
Oh, you think I'm a yokai? Well, I was once known as a judicial monster of sorts, in my pants. The beast of the mob, a demon of due process, if you will. The Uberschwanz of Germany, of Deutschland.
My charm has no effect. The demon of due process? Not sure I can see that one.
Now, you little scamp.
Yes.
I trust you know why you're here.
Bags.
Bags? Oh, that Trixie Tanuki. Try the noodle stand. Enjoy a big bowl of Tanuki tail noodles like that.
Everyone's a comedian.
No, I mean, your bags. The one under your eyes. You must have trouble sleeping.
Yeah, she's
Yeah. Incredibly superstitious.
yeah.
Here, this charm will keep Azuki
Alright.
Kiarai away. Azuki Arai. Jesus Christ, too many words.
Azuki Arai. The yokai that washes Azuki beans? The only thing needs washing will be your father's neck before I take his head clean off.
Azuki Arai often keeps people up at night, and the noise he makes watching beans. But if you stick this charm on your forehead, you won't hear him anymore.
Is that so? Well, thank you. Oh, that's so cute.
Aw. Looks like Prosecutor Blackwell got more than he bargained for.
So sweet, honest child.
I know.
They're bad enough alone, but together those two are just plain creepy.
You watch Taka carefully. He's got lots of emotions. Oh, that's cute. pay attention to the bird.
Your testimony, if you please, Miss Tenma. Specifically whether or not you saw Temataro when you discovered the crime scene. Oh, look at her.
Oh, she's so cute.
She kind of reminds me of Maggie when she was working at the
the
she worked at
cafe,
the cafe.
yeah.
She had like the tray up to her chest.
Did I see Temataro in the fox chamber? Well, when I opened the door, oh, I saw, yes, now I remember. Yokai, right there in that room.
So there was a yokai at the scene of the crime.
Uh-huh, lots of them.
Wait, more than one yokai? Did Temataro happen to be among them?
I don't know, I just don't know. All I know is that the room was swimming in yokai. Nasha, Nurikabe, Seto Taisho, they were all there.
Well, this is an unexpected turn of events. We've gotten from no yokai to a flood of them.
Oh, poor child.
It's ludicrous. You would have this court listen to this delusional little scout's testimony. Ah!
Hold it!
Oh, here comes Athena.
Your Honor, I believe her memory is simply clouded by fear. But a quick therapy session should ease her mind. With the court's permission, of course.
What a
Yokai
fabulous
watch.
idea. Please proceed, Mr. Sachs. You need a yokai watch, yeah. Get the child away from spooky stories.
You sure you know what you're doing, Athena?
She's obviously not herself. The trauma of discovering that crime scene and fear of testifying have her dazed and confused. A regular ball of confusion. But my analytical psychology-based approach should be able to help.
Any objections, Prosecutor Blackquill? Shall we let Miss Sachs proceed?
Psychology versus psychology.
It makes no difference to me. Do as you will, but I doubt we shall get any viable testimony. She'd be better served by bearing witness to my sword skills I forged in a distant land.
I'll show you.
Boop, 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 zap.
Bloop, bloop.
Beep, or beep, zeep.
Bloop, 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 bloop.
This is the first time we do this in real life.
Oh, without being tutorialized. Oh, she's so
sad.
scared. I see Temataro in the fox chamber. Well, when I opened the door, I saw. I remember. Yokai right there in that room. Found something. It's like it can be an out of control emotion.
Athena? What exactly are we looking at here?
Oh, this? It's one of the widget's functions. Right here, you can see images and emotions extracted from the witness's voice.
Whoa! You mean that little thing can do all that?
Pretty cool, huh?
And here I thought it was just some kid's toy.
Unfortunately, all I'm getting is an overflowing error right now. See how sad is brightly lit there in the bottom left? She's under an uncontrollable amount of distress, which is masking her other emotions. It seems the sheer terror she's experienced has made her a confused mess.
So all those yokai she thinks she saw are a product of rapid emotions.
Also, I love the fact that they very much censored the Tanuki on the right there.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. Her fear is instilled in her hallucinations and false memories. She's seeing normal everyday objects as monsters in her mind. It's a form of schizophrenic hallucination brought on by emotional trauma. And the trauma in Jinxie's case is fear.
So she was, and still is, seeing ordinary objects as yokai.
We'll have to find the root cause of her extreme fear before I can treat it. Oh damn, she's like legit schizophrenic. Poor girl. Now, let's see. Apollo, can you point out the yokai on the Wheel of Fire? She seems particularly terrified of that one. clicking the probe on the bottom screen. That's right. I want you to probe it.
I'm all about holes and probing them. With my spots!
Next, point at what's causing Jinxie's out-of-control emotions. Finally, tap probe again, and try to get to the heart of the matter.
Okay, I'll give this a try.
Got it!
Jinxie, what's the name of that yokai on a wheel of fire?
That's Akasha, a yokai that steals the bodies of the recently deceased. Bet it came to steal the aldermans.
It's almost creepy how well that fits the actual situation.
Exactly. It's a form of hallucination where the patient can't see things for what they are. There must be something at the scene of the crime that she's mistaking for Akasha. Apollo, you need to point out what she thought was a yokai on a wheel of fire.
I think I know the answer now. Jinxie, that wasn't Akasha you saw. Could you have possibly mistaken this for Akasha?
The lamp?
Yeah, the lamp. Wheel of fire.
Yeah.
Take that!
Or rather, maybe the light fixture.
This one right here. It has a flame design and is up there on the ceiling. There was never a yokai on the wheel of fire. The Kasha you saw was just a light fixture.
Ah!
So we're just eliminating.
Yeah. We're just eliminating sources. That's one memory back to normal. Nice job. Now that you've got the hang of it, it should be a cinch to point out the rest.
Jinxie, what about this white wall-like monster?
That's Nurikabe. It's a wall monster that blocks your way or leads you astray. A folding screen.
That's no yokai, Jinxie. It's a folding screen.
Ah!
And this raccoon dog isn't a tanuki. This raccoon dog isn't a tanuki monster. It's just a statue of one.
Ah!
And look, these are just coffee cups. And this right here is nothing more than a box statue.
I don't know what I was seeing.
Right, reducing the noise level will help us establish a.
You did it, Apollo! Her extreme fear is under control now! It was all just my eyes. They tricks on me. There weren't any yokai after all.
Now I realize why his name her name is
Is Jinx?
Jinx. No, well, yes and no. It's because Jinxie is like a superstition to be Jinx.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's superstitious. She's superstitious.
Yes.
I'm not superstitious. I'm sometimes stitious.
I'm not superstitious. Sometimes. Waterly stitious. See? A clear-cut statement.
The yokais that she saw in her testimony are figments of her imagination, but the yokai Tenmataro is a physical,
It's a real thing.
is a real thing. Is a person in the.
And we are going to try and prove it.
That's the power of my psychology.
No, that's the power of my psychology and your intuition, Apollo. And just like we thought, there never really were any yokai in the Fox Chamber.
Right. There never really were any yokai there. So the defense is asserting the exact opposite of their original assertion.
Wait, Jinxie, what about Tenmataro?
There wasn't anyone dressed up as Temataro, or any other yokai either. I remember it clearly now.
You've
Gotta!
been joking! Ah, my spots!
Order in this court.
I think we just dug our own grave.
Allow me to push you on in. It's the least I could do.
No!
Apollo! Can I interrupt your freak out for just a minute? I'm still picking up some noise. It's an unexpected emotion.
That was pathetic. Yeah, the defense has basically been like, no, it was this, and then immediately proved that it wasn't this.
Yeah. Shit.
Does that mean Jinxie hasn't remembered everything yet?
Exactly. We should be able to get something else out of her. I'll enter in the new information and run an update. Mataro in Fox chamber. Scared and surprised. So scared when I entered the room. Next thing I fell to the floor.
There we go, so they're updating everything.
There in the Fox chamber I saw all the undead on the table and Papa collapsed on the chair. Nobody else is there. And that includes Tomataro.
It's a surprise function.
Oh, why is she still surprised that there's no Tomataro?
Wait, what am I supposed to do?
I'd find the emotion that contradicts her statements.
Well, if I find a contradictory emotion, I should just point it out?
And that's right. But it's not just contradictory emotions you should look out for. You should also keep an eye out for sudden changes in an emotion's intensity. Her emotions might get stronger or weaker as you move from statement to statement.
Ah, okay, so we're just using
It's important to compare how some emotions change throughout the testimony.
Contradictory emotions and changes in intensity. Okay, I'll give it a shot.
Very scared, very surprised.
this one is.
Very surprised?
I'm just super surprised, yeah.
Well, I mean, seeing someone.
Got it!
Let me just press this really quick.
This seems like an unnatural reaction.
Really? Because I don't see it that way.
So it isn't unexpected given her testimony.
Hello? Is there anybody in there? Just not if you can
Okay,
hear me.
there it is.
Yes, there's someone at home, and that somebody's gonna give that a try again.
Yeah, because like she just walked in on a murder. She'd be surprised.
So I did see Tomataro in the Fox chamber. Sadness. So scared I fell.
I think it's the last one.
Yeah. So. A little less surprised. Nobody else was there, and includes Tomataro. No, there's a huge amount of surprise here. That makes sense, right? Surprise and scared. But this one, the sadness was lessened. So if we look at the first one, you can see the intensities are the big sad intensity. What are we missing? And then we can hear, I was so scared when I entered the room. Then there's surprise. Her legs gave out, and she had a huge amount of shock. Felt corpses, equals sad and surprise.
Third statement.
Yeah, this one, right? The sadness is super. This is the one I pointed out before. The legs gave out.
It wasn't surprise.
It was a sadness.
Yeah.
Oh, she was sad. Super, very sad.
Got it!
What a second or third one?
Oh yeah,
We went to the second one.
she's
Third statement.
yeah, the legs gave out. And what? Surprise?
Sadness. Sadness.
Got it!
Ruh-roh, Blue.
The amount of fear you felt is rather low, despite your legs having give out from the fright. Could something have lessened your fear?
Actually, I did experience a sudden burst of courage at that moment.
You did? Where did it come from?
Let me think. Oh, it was Mama. Suddenly felt as if she was there with me. Okay, I'll enter sudden burst of courage. Now let's see. Oh, look.
Look at that perseverance, so cute. She's so cute.
Apollo, the noise is all gone. Jinxie seems to have remembered everything now. Protect her. Wait.
Bye-bye.
A sudden burst of courage. Now where could that have come from? Jinxie, Was there something that gave you a sudden burst of courage?
Yes, there was, but I realized I'd done something naughty when I thought about it later. Any idea what could have gotten Jinxie that courage?
Well, there is one piece of evidence that comes to mind. I wonder if she saw something like that at the scene of the crime. Jinxie, did your sudden burst of courage have anything to do with this?
The fox mask? No. Sorry, no. The nine-tails flower. That one, yes.
Yeah, it boosts her courage. Yeah.
Yes.
Take that!
You saw
Found
a
that
flower.
inside the...
Jinxie, you didn't happen to see a nine-tails flower there at the scene, did you?
The demon lawyer strikes again. I can't hide anything from you. Found a small case with a picture of a nine-tails flower on it. I liked it so much, I kept it.
You what? You can't remove evidence from a crime scene?
That's right, young lady. Removing evidence is a big no-no. Now, the witness will produce that evidence this instant.
Sorry.
It does seem to be some sort of case. Oh, look, something slid out. It appears to be a key. Might I have a look, Your Highness?
Yeah.
Oh, this is none other than the master key to QB Manor. Are you certain of this, Prosecutor Blackquill?
The bird brings them his paperwork.
It matches the serial number. It matches the serial number of the key that went missing after the murder.
A master key? That went missing? Why don't I like the sound of that?
Why was I not informed?
Our little scamp here has stumbled upon an article of unimaginable consequence.
That's a little melodramatic, don't you think?
Heed the words, for I shall say them but once. The sole key to the fox chamber has been in this little scamp's constant possession. Ergo, she was the sole person who could have used it before, during, and after the murder. Which leaves the master key as the only other key that could have opened the chamber. But this master's key was found in a room that had been locked by this girl.
And your point is?
Until Jinxie Tenma opened the box chamber with her key. The room had been locked tight from the outside world. There was no one else in there save for the victim and his killer. Trust you have figured it out for yourself by now. A killer other than Mayor Tenma himself would be utterly inconceivable.
No!
So basically, with the master key involved, no one could have gotten in and out of that building.
Apparently.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Unless they entered with the master key and left it
Objection! Objection!
How could this happen? Ah!
The defense's assistant will refrain from her growling. The defense's assistant will refrain from growling her frustrations.
Athena, are you alright?
Yeah, I know Mayor Tenma's innocent, but there's nothing we can do.
This sucks!
Saikusu-dono. Allow me to put you out of your misery.
I'm changing. Can I decline your offer?
Abandon your client and your misplaced faith on me. Let the relief of a clear head and a clean conscience come rushing in. It will make the inevitable guilty verdict far easier to accept.
Great, now he's playing Simon Says with us. Well, he's not gonna fool us with his stupid mind games. Athena, don't fall for his tricks.
Now I'm the one who's dazed and confused. I can't even think straight.
Hey, are you alright? She fell right into his trap.
Now, I suggest you make a mad dash for the courtroom and wait for the wild blue yonder. Only by running shall your mind be cleared and your conscience cleansed.
All right, I'll be back at 10.
Oh my god. She was gonna run for it.
Stay with me, Athena! Don't let yourself be twisted by that
I
samurai!
was like, I'm just gonna go take a jog.
Yeah, I'm just gonna fucking book it.
Apollo?
Mr. Justice, I heard the word objection, but what is it do you object to?
Huh? Oh, right! That objection was more of a reflex than anything else. Though I was hoping something would come to me while I was trying to stop Athena.
The court is waiting, Mr. Justice. Though as it stands now, I'll be forced to declare your client guilty and your legal skills suspect, if this is it. Now, do you have anything that could overturn this prosecution's case?
Well, actually I do. I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm fine!
Apollo? You do have something more than cores of steel, don't you?
Not really, but we'll be fine!
But
I've got absolutely nothing, but that's never stopped me before. I have to explain how the real killer could have escaped that locked room. Because it's
Super
all
sus.
over if I don't.
super fast. Apollo, this calls for a new approach.
I sus.
Try to think outside the box. Or, in this case,
No, or in this,
inside.
no.
No. Sorry.
No. No. Or in this case, inside the box. And what a doozy that locked room is, too.
This seems sus.
Super sus.
Well, Mr. Justice, do you have anything that can counter the prosecution's argument?
You bet I do. The real killer must have escaped from the locked room one way or another.
Vague conjecture can only earn you a taste of my blade, Justice Dono.
Time to do or die. Literally.
The defense will now explain how it would be possible to escape the locked room.
You sure about this, Apollo? Can you really explain what happened?
I'm fine. We just need to think of this whole escaping a locked room thing over from the beginning. So let's see. If the killer had escaped, how could they have done so?
The choices are pretty limited.
The vent?
The room has a window, but it's too small. It doesn't open wide enough for anyone to get through, and there's a sheer cliff outside. As for the air vent, it's up too high, and there's nothing you could stand on to reach it. And needless to say, the forbidden chamber wouldn't open no matter what we did. So that's out.
Yeah. Why we gotta keep the solution simple? Like they say, simple is best.
Literally hiding behind the door.
Yeah, he was hiding behind the door, or he was hiding behind the frame.
We need to.
No.
Sorry.
No. I don't even care. I just like making a big shit stick out of it.
We need to rule out
All right,
all the absolutely impossible escape routes. Then whatever's left might just lead us to how the Fox chamber was compromised. Your Honor, the defense proposes that the killer escaped through here.
Okay, so too high for here. The window was there. The forbidden chamber was locked.
The hallway door?
This door?
Take that!
He ran out, yeah. The hallway door? Well, yes, I suppose that would be the only way out. It would appear you've already forgotten. The only available key until Jinxie Tenma came to the scene was that locked, on that scene was within that locked room. Howard would exit the Fox chamber and then lock it without a key.
I should have seen this coming.
Remember, Apollo, keep it simple.
All right. Simple. Right. I could understand if the killer had exited the room with a key, but...
Well, Mr. Justice, the prosecution has some fine Japanese steel waiting unless you explain yourself quickly.
I'm fine! I can explain myself. The reason the Fox chamber hallway's door was locked was because...
Tenma must have locked it on the inside. Or
Locked it from outside.
Right, so yeah, he killed it. Well, no, how did the key end up inside the building then?
They were doing from outside.
That's true, he could have done that.
What if the room was locked from the outside? In other words, the killer who took the key through the hallway door and then locked out!
Consider this. At master key was found inside the tightly locked box chamber. Any assertions the key was removed from that room is a blatant contradiction of fact.
Exiting the room before locking the door would require taking the key outside. But the key was found inside the room, which does seem like a contradiction.
If only we could explain both. How could the key be inside the room and be used to lock the door from the outside?
Use those brain meats.
Well, let's see if the defense can respond. Let's see if the defense can respond before Prosecutor Blackwell draws his sword. Chink. How would the master key be at the crime scene despite the room being locked out? Slipped it in when the door was open, through it from the outside. That's the only way you could have done it. There is a window.
Yeah.
Possibilities there. What if someone threw it into the window from the outside? You know, something like go outside the hallway door, lock the room, and then toss the key back into the window. That would explain how the master key could be inside the locked room. And where would you throw it from? There's a cliff outside the box chamber's window. Throwing a key from there is an impossibility. Oh, right! Now!
I wonder if the key could have been tossed in from somewhere other than the window.
Somewhere other than the window. Huh. Oh, it could have been dropped from the air duct.
Air duct.
Could the key have been tossed through somewhere else other than the window? Yep, it does.
Take that!
Oops, slow down quite significantly. The air vent. Yes, the window may be out of the question, but the air vent's not.
Oh, that's right. The Fox Chamber's air duct leads out into the hallway.
That's right. The real killer entered the air duct from the vent outside the Fox Chamber. Then dropped the key into the room through the vent inside the chamber. Ugh. That's preposterous.
Oh, that explains how the key got in there after it was used to lock the door perfectly.
Mr. Justice, I'm afraid I'm a bit confused. Don't worry. I'll explain it so even Your Honor can understand. First, the real killer disguised as Temataro murdered the Elderman in the Fox Chamber. Then they fled through the hallway door and locked it. Next, they entered the air duct from the vent outside the hallway. Finally, the killer tossed the key to the room through the air vent in the ceiling there. All that was left to do was to go back through the air duct and flee the manor. Well, Your Honor, could that have been any more clear? Amazing! Even I could follow that. Hit the gavel.
The judge seems really pleased.
That explains everything. The real killer was someone dressed up like Temataro. And there was someone else other than the mayor and the alderman in that room. Hey, it looks like that lawyer. Wow, that was a total turnabout.
What a mess. Poor Henry seems so much more attractive now.
Order, I say. Now that I've proved a possible third party, I don't see how our client could be guilty.
Silence.
A valiant effort, Justice Dono. But your final thrust missed its mark. Huh? Both the little scamp and that tricksy Tanuki saw the yokai after you left the room. But then what? Did that irksome yokai simply go through the foyer and waltz right into the front? Did that irksome yokai simply go through the foyer and waltz right out of the front door? That's exactly what happened. The killer fled from the yow! But that is impossible without being spotted by the foyer security cameras. The electric eye here would have captured any pesky little yokai trying to escape. However, there's no sign of Temataro anywhere in the security footage. What? Save for the foyer entrance, there's no other way to flee the manor, is there? I don't feel so good.
Hold it! Wait, I believe there is another way to escape beside the foyer entrance. There's a large window in the foyer. It's possible to escape through there without being seen by the security camera.
Hey, you're right.
Silence!
Must I point out every crucial detail to the defense? It seems you lack not only brains, but investigative prowess to boot. That's the cliffside on the matter. The only killer escaping that way would be a dead one.
No! No!
No.
Is it French?
Yeah, that was the French. No!
Wait. Wes! Wait, so the killer didn't escape out the foyer window?
What the fuck, right?
I suppose your next proposal is the killer sprouted wings and flew off into the sunset.
Actually, that possibly happened. Yeah.
That's what happened. That's what happened.
That would mean the killer really was a yokai.
If only we had some sort of evidence that could point to a flying killer.
Who's saying we don't? As completely far-fetched as it might be.
What? You're saying we can prove the killer could fly?
Well, maybe not fly, maybe like
But I mean, there's a photograph of a flying bird.
a flying man-bird pig.
Yeah, man-bird pig.
Whoa, I thought I was the only one with the cords of steel.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
Your Honor?
What evidence do you have? What evidence do you have that the killer flew away?
A glider mantle.
Yeah, glider mantle.
Special edition. Photograph of Ted Mataro soaring through the sky.
Take a look at the special edition paper.
Tenma Taro, real or flat or fancy? What does this article prove, Mr. Justice?
The photo in the article was taken shortly after the murder. Maybe the yokai in that photo was the killer shortly after they fled out the window.
Mr. Justice, you're not seriously suggesting.
Oh, I'm serious. I mean, it all adds up. The killer disguised as Temataro flew away. You know, by some way or another.
Silence!
Yeah.
Is it your brain that has flown the coop?
Hello, friend geek.
Hello, friend geek.
Friendo, reporting for friending.
That image is not but a trick of photography or some other sort of artifice.
You walk into Ace Attorney.
Ace
That's-
Attorney. Walking halfway into an Ace Attorney thing is just like, ugh. You
It's a headache.
guys
for
are
sure.
quiet? Oh. Are we quiet?
Really? I don't know. It shouldn't be.
We're just gonna check right now.
I'll check right now.
Okay then, how about the Temataro figure, Mr. Filchshaw? It just vanished into thin air.
No, there's a rational common sense explanation for that. That infernal yokai, our trickster Tanuki witness, never reached the entrance.
I just gotta let the ad play.
He, or should I say she, turned back before the camera's electric eye.
Gee, I don't like where this is going one bit.
That seems okay.
Now, the fact that we know the yokai had come from the Fox Chamber means that it was likely either Mayor Damien Tenma or his daughter Jinxie Tenma. However, we know Mayor Tenma was already unconscious at the time.
Yeah, it seems okay.
Not good at all. You understand the gravity of the situation now. Justice Dono.
Justice, don't know.
Justice Dono. The falsified yokai remnants and the appearance of Tenmataro were the work of one individual. And that individual is none other than Jinxie Tenma!
Whoa! No!
Rabble.
I am but a small and fragile and very, very scared child. I could never.
Order! The defense will stop competing for the greatest freak out ever.
The little scamp was, no doubt, simply trying to protect her father. But it's no wonder that her superstitious mind conjured up this mad masquerade.
Prosecutor's Black Quill's assertion makes perfect sense to me. Dun dun dun. Like, dun 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 is like 90% of this game. Every turnabout is like, but what about this?
Dun,
But what
dun,
about
dun.
this? And this?
But this... It's far more convincing than saying the killer escaped by flying out the window. Did you truly believe this could end in any other way? Did we fall right into his trap?
Oh, what exactly do we do now, Apollo?
Our case no longer stands without a real yokai. If only we had one.
How the fuck was that planned? It wasn't planned.
Bailiff, seize her. It is time I interrogated her as the samurai of Yorewood. Oh, is that who I think it is?
Just holding it.
Phoenix?
Phoenix?
Nope.
No. Father.
He's gonna admit to it to save his daughter. Mayor Tenma. The farce is over. How does it feel seeing your own daughter accused of a cover-up most foul? Tenma Taro's true identity is... Now, Mr. Mayor. It would be futile at this point to claim that you were the yokai. After all, you had been knocked out cold by a blow to the skull. Slipping into a yokai costume and roaming around the manor would be all but impossible. Consider this well. As it stands, your daughter will be arrested for obstruction of justice. But if you confess, the prosecution would be willing to overlook her little yokai farce. Confess? The defendant intends to confess? Wait.
Apollo! Prosecutor Blackwell's up to his mind games again.
Mayor Tenma, no! Don't fall for his twisted words! If you're sent away for murder, Jinxie will be left all alone!
The real killer is...
Mayor Tenma's gonna confess unless we do something!
But I can't prove how the real killer could have flown away!
Look upon me in despair, for ripe is the time of my return.
Huh? Oh no, I should have watched what I wished for.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
The seal is breaking.
Ah,
foolish mortals! I am Tenma Taro, the yokai you seek.
Mayor Tenma?
Silence! I am Tenma Taro, freed from the bonds binding me to the Forbidden Chamber. Behold the return of the Demon King.
Demon King.
Well then, I think it's time for me to take a vacation!
Pretending to be possessed.
I swear Blackwell with that one friendly smart ass bitch. But no one likes it. But have to tag him. Tag alone anyway, yeah.
The witness will explain himself. Are you saying you're Tenma Taro, the yokai you've been chasing this whole time? Indeed, it is I, Tenma Taro, the one whom you seek, come to reveal the truth. This child is Tenma Taro himself. Ha! What nonsense!
So, Mayor Tenma is a yokai now?
Gah! This body is now mine.
So what I'm understanding is that schizophrenia runs in his family.
Maybe, yeah. So you're saying that Mayor Tenma is being possessed by you? And that the yokai that Jinxie, Tenma, and Phineas Fish saw? And the one captured in the newspaper photo? They were all you? The accursed power of these warding charms prevents me from revealing my true form. Your boldness. Can this not be interpreted as an admission of guilt? Well, a confession from a yokai would be quite unprecedented. Be that as it may, the defense's case has been overturned. Huh? What? You claim the yokai that the scamp saw was some third party, the true killer. The one who escaped the locked fox chamber. But it was all the accused all along. Oh!
What the hell is happening to the mayor? I'm so confused.
Ironic, is it not? Your yokai turned out to be real in a manner of speaking. But the alderman's killer is none other than Mayor Tenma. And the yokai at the scene? That too was Mayor Tenma, or should I say, our dear Tenma Taro. The pieces have all fallen into place.
How so, Prosecutor Blackwell?
It seems I must spell it all out for you. Mayor Tenma killed the alderman in the Fox Chamber, which was locked at the time. He then removed the warding jobs from the Forbidden Chamber's door, but then fell unconscious from the blow the alderman had delivered to his head. That's when his daughter, Jinxie Tenma, stumbled on the scene of the crime. The little scamp fled in terror, whereupon the spirit of Tenmataro, freed at last from the charm's warding effect, took possession of the mayor. The newly freed Tenmataro then fled the Fox Chamber.
So you're believing in the whole spirit thing now?
So you see, the yokai Jinxie Tenma saw was her father possessed by Tenmataro.
Objection!
But then his body was there. When we arrived on the scene, the mayor was found unconscious. How is it possible if he was supposed to have flown out the foyer window? Then what? Do you mean to say the maid of the Kyubi Mana, Jinxie Tenma, was Tenmataro? Oh! Ah! That too was easily explained. I flew about for a time, but presently tired, I made for the Forbidden Chamber. But alas, exhaustion took me unawares in the Fox Chamber, and I knew no more. It would seem the pieces are still in place. Is Blackwell up to his tricks again? I don't know what to say. Is it a pendant or real life? So that rumor about Mayor Tenma is true? I knew yokais were real. You mean he really did kill the alderman just so he could release Tenmataro? Order! Order!
Now he's got everyone in the courtroom believing in yokai.
Simon says on steroids. He wants to convict our client any way he can, even if it means blaming a yokai.
The proverbial ducks are all in a row. You should now have no qualms about finding the accused guilty of baldness. This is one of the most bizarre cases in my entire career. Otherworldly, in fact. Can a yokai even be prosecuted under our legal system?
Objection!
Mayor Tenma is just pretending to be Tenmataro to protect his daughter. Plus, I already proved how a third party could have escaped from the locked room. A verdict at this point would be premature.
Since both sides have raised valid points, I have no choice but to silence. This is the dark age of law where defense attorneys are not to be trusted. This is but a ploy to gain time for them to fabricate evidence. How will I sleep tonight? Knowing that you will not let the sun rise on the mayor's day of reckoning. Justice, Dono!
Objection!
I won't fabricate any evidence.
Silence! Then prove it by joining me. A night in the
Join me in darkness.
A night in the clink will ensure you will not succumb to temptation.
How about I just promise not to succumb to anything?
We have both evidence and a confession. A killer is this yokai before us. It is beyond dispute.
When did the music turn into Valkyria Chronicles?
A guilty verdict is all but.
Did you just get taser?
What's wrong with him?
Prosecutor Blackville will have. 1 second, those are killing my throat right now.
Join us in the dark side. We have cookies. A lot of growling for you tonight.
Prosecutor Blackwell, we've had enough of your hijinks. The foundation of justice is fair play, and you are in serious violation of that.
You totally got tased.
What in the devil was that? Fulbright! Have you tampered with my shackles in some manner?
Ha ha ha! It seems you found that quite shocking. It is my special jolt of justice device. Each press is a shocking reminder to behave.
You shall pay for this. I, Simon Blackwell.
Your Honor, you need not fear now. I believe Prosecutor Blackwell will remain on his best behavior.
What is the job?
A bit late with the reassurances, aren't we, Detective?
Well, in that case, this concludes today's deliberations. The prosecution and defense will use this opportunity to further their investigations. This court is adjourned. Woo! Oh, good lord, that was a long case.
To be continued. On to... It's pretty late. It's like 11.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it.
I don't think we're gonna be able to get through the investigation.
These are really long cases. It's
I
just
know.
Me. Have they extended the investigation cases?
It's a lot. It's...
Yeah, we'll call it today.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. New people in the chat. Faye Bang Tang, nice to meet you. Nice to see you. So that's been it for today. For Ace Attorney, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Dual Destinies. Tomorrow we'll be moving over to the next investigation.
Not tomorrow, next
Oh,
week.
sorry. Next week, Saturday, we'll be moving on to the next investigation. Tomorrow is Sunday, which is a team stream. I don't know if Ash is still good to go with Monster Hunter, but we still need to get her to certain points. On top of which, we also need to fight the Fatalis, which is going to be a headache because 4-player Fatalis is a gong show, especially if you're not coordinated, especially if you're new at it. Trust me, it was terrifying. But come join us for that. If it's not going to be that, we might just do Among Us, kind of call it a wash on Monster Hunter for that week, just so we can play some fun games together. After that, check us out. Remember to check us on all of our socials: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, for all the cool stuff. We're off for the day. Potentially, we can put some extra time into Grind at the Girl Up tomorrow. Sure. And then remember, if you like what you see here, remember to follow us. September is over, but if you really want to, you can still throw us a subscription. We appreciate anything you give us. It helps grow the channel. That's about it. If you want to see some of our old stuff that isn't on the Twitch channel because it disappears after a certain amount of time, we do have the YouTube channel. So make sure you go over to there. Just look it up, Daring Player Squad, and there's our whole library of stuff for previous Phoenix Wrights bad voice dubs, Final Fantasy bad voice dubs, all that good stuff. So injustice we trust. Indeed. So without further ado, thank you so much again for joining us today. I'm going to sign off and rest my voice a little bit.
Yeah, that was rough for you.
My name's Rashi.
I'm Joyce.
And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Hit the button.
Boop it.